crucial Game 6 tonight. The chippiness in this series has picked up as Golden State looks to close out Houston. All right, Jay, who'll be the biggest factor in the Warriors closing out the Rockets tonight?
I think it has to be Jimmy Butler, y'all. I mean, this is why you got Jimmy Butler in this moment. This is why Mike Dunleavy made that move to bring him on board. And in a time where that right thumb for Steph Curry is a real thing, and I've often joked around with people that I think Ime Udoka is the coaching version of Draymond Green as a basketball player, right? And I don't think that's dirty. I think that's basketball strategy on shots, and you can hit people after the shot, or when Steph gets low with the ball, raking down on the ball. I wouldn't be surprised if multiple players take hard fouls in the first quarter to kind of set a tone for the physicality of the way the game is going to be called, which is also another very important factor. But the reason why I say Jimmy Butler is, look, Steph has moments, but I called him the greatest technician teammate in basketball because he's willing to live in the trenches. He is the Batman of this team if Steph is the Superman. And the ability to win that war in the trenches against these dogs of Houston will ultimately determine if the Warriors can win this Game 6 tonight. And my thing is Jimmy Butler has to be next level. He's picked his spots here and there, but if he can tactically pick the moments to be great, the Warriors will have a high probability of winning the game. But they better win it tonight, Stephen A. They better win it tonight. It goes back to Houston. That ain't going to be good.
I agree with you there. I definitely think they need to win tonight, and I think they will win tonight. And I'm going to tell you why, Jay. Jaylen Green. I agree with your answer to this question about it being Jimmy Butler, but I'm going to speak about Jaylen Green. This kid is young, got athleticism off the charts, had a big game in Game 2. It struck me, it didn't escape me that the one game where he exploded, where he's dropped 38 points, was the game Jimmy Butler got hurt early and was out the rest of the game. Other than that, Jaylen Green in the other 4 games has scored 7, 9, 8, and 11 points. A total of 35 points on 31% shooting. That is unacceptable. Jaylen Green, that is unacceptable. So we can see Dylan Brooks. Fred VanVleet has been great. You know Thompson is going to show up, particularly on the defensive side of the ball. You know Ime Udoka is going to have them boys ready, feisty, ready to fight, scratch, and claw. They're not going to go down easy. But Jimmy Butler, who's averaging about 10 points on better than 50% shooting in the fourth quarter of the games that he has played in, if he's there tonight, I think he's going to be a big factor, the biggest factor, because I think Steph is going to do what Steph does. But I think Jimmy's going to have to help out, making sure he's effective when it really counts. I will say, I am starting to find myself rooting for Dylan Brooks. He broke up a fight the other night. Yes, he did. I'm like, what the hell is going on? This man is locked in right now. He's locked in. He's locked in. He's showing his veteran leadership, his toughness. He doesn't back down from anybody or whatever. He has a role to play in Ime Udoka's system. If Jaylen Green is doing what he's supposed to do, Houston might be up 3-2 in this series instead of down 3-2.
Game 6, 90-point dagger to send the Knicks to the semis and putting an end to the Pistons' fairy tale season. New York needed all 40 of Brunson's points last night to advance the next round meeting with the Celtics. However, it won't be easy as Boston swept New York in the regular season 4-0. Jay, well, here's what I want to know. How can the Knicks make this a series versus Boston?
I'm sorry, Stephen A. I just want to say that off the top. I'm sorry. I apologize. I know today is your day. I did not put the rundown together. Today is your day, and they're trying to steal your thunder. I just want you to know that I care about you. Okay? No reply? Nothing? You got nothing to say to me?
I don't believe you.
Okay.
I don't believe you.
Good.
I don't believe, especially on this subject, I don't believe you at all.
Look, this is why you went out and you got OG Anunoby, right? This is why you went out and you got Mikal Bridges. For this moment, because of the way that Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum play. You get Mitchell Robinson back, rim protection. You have a superstar and your point guard who makes all the plays in Brunson when it matters the most. The most clutch player in the playoffs today between him and Steph, however you want to go down. I don't think it comes down to those pieces, though. I think a lot of it comes down to Karl Anthony Towns. Now, look, you can talk about some of his Numbers offensively, 10 points game 1, 17, 27, 31, 10. I think he needs to be prolific offensively. Stephen A., I think he needs to be even more prolific and active defensively. With how Boston plays, the way they run so many pick and pops, the way they space the floor, Karl Anthony Towns on the defensive end, the ability to chase down shots from Al Horford and Porzingis, I think will be one of the most critical parts of this. Boston loves to play fast and spread it out. I don't question Karl Anthony Towns. Sometimes the ability, if he settles, that could be a question sometimes. Not as much as I question defensively. Can he elevate his level of sense of urgency, guarding the perimeter, getting out the shooters? If he can do that and they can play at a high level, I think they can win 2 games.
Wendy, Jay, I was going to come up here and say that I agreed with Jay Williams about Karl Anthony Towns, who, by the way, is averaging nearly 20 points a game, 53% shooting, 64% from three-point range against the Celtics this year.
Yeah.
But I said, no, I'm not going to go that route because listening to you, Jay, I'm going to disagree with you. I'm going to disagree with you. It's not Karl Anthony Towns. It's everybody. They need everybody, man. I mean, they need everybody, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Molly, we need the equipment manager. We need the cheerleaders to get the Boston. We need the bus driver to make sure there's no delay in that Boston traffic. We need every damn thing. We need some of the Boston Celtics to catch some food poisoning. We need something. We need something because let me tell you something right now. The New York Knicks this year are 0-10 versus the top 3 teams in the NBA. 0-4 against the Celtics, 0-4 against Cleveland, 0-2 against OKC. As Wendy pointed out earlier, they're losing by 16 points. They're losing by 16 points a game to Boston this year. You were right, Jay. It's 43% shooting from three-point range that the Celtics have had this season, 48.3 attempts per game. But here's the deal. OG Anunoby is so important. I'm so impressed with this brother. It's like he's gotten a little bit bigger, stronger, plus he's a stout defender, etc. And then I look up this stat, and against Boston, Wendy and Jay, you know what he's doing? He's averaging 9 points on 30% shooting, 13% from three-point range. Now that can happen in the series. We need Karl Anthony Towns to be more assertive but equally efficient. We need Jalen Brunson to be healthy and to go at these cats and try to get them into some foul trouble. We need Drew Holiday and Jaylen Brown to keep getting treatment and possibly miss some games. We need Jason Tatum to be kind, not to drop 40 on us. We need Karl Anthony Towns to do what he's doing. We need Mikal Bridges, who, by the way, is shooting 43%, 32% from three-point range against the Celtics this year, to up his grade, play better. We need Tom Thibodeau to at least pretend he has a bench, because you can't play them 40-plus minutes against Boston with no reserves getting any playing time. We need everything. We need, and by the way, last but not least, here I am, Wendy. Floor is yours. We need prayer. Please.
Wendy, go ahead.
I mean, listen, regardless, Molly, I'm going to say this on national television.
Yeah.
I know it's hard for y'all to believe this, but as my boy Jeff would say, I'm a decent guy. You know,